Hey everyone, it's Skylar. Welcome back to my channel. We're on to day 9 of 31 Days of November Challenge Month, and today's year is a movie from 1978, and I've actually picked a movie that I've never ever seen before, and after I watched it you'll find out after I do this review. It's basically called The Eyes of Laura Mars. It was released on August 2nd, 1978, directed by Irvin Kershner, produced by Jack H. Harris, John Peters and Laura Ziskin, written by John Carpenter, who was the source story and the early screenplay of it, and then David Zealous Goodman was the final screenplay version, starring Faye Dunaway as Laura Mars, Tommy Lee Jones as Lieutenant John Neville, Brad Dourif as Tommy Ludlow, Renee Auberjonois as Donald Phelps, Raul Julia as Michael Reisler, Frank Adonis as Sal Volpe, Lisa Taylor as Michelle, Darlene Flugel as Lulu, Rose Gregorio as Elaine Cassell, Bill Boggs plays himself, Steve Marachuk as Robert, Meg Monday as Doris Spencer, Marilyn Myers as Sheila Wiseman. Music by Artie Kane, cinematography by Victor J. Kemper, edited by Michael Kahn and distributed by Columbia Pictures. The movie starts off zooming out a lady's face and concentrating on her piercing eyes, which light up. Then the face goes into like a sepia style, then it goes black. Then it views a room from a camera's point of view and cutting out pictures of a lady. Then a lady comes back home, takes her coat off and shoes, goes into the kitchen and then gets stabbed. Then another lady wakes up from her nightmare, then calls someone but there's no answer, and then walks around their home, goes to a window, looks out and then comes back in, and then looks at a book/magazine called Eyes of Laura Mars, and has her hands on some scissors, and then calls someone but yawns at the same time. Then a crowd of people gather and Tommy says to Laura, "Good luck on tonight," and then walks into the gallery art world. Then a news reporter talks about the art world and Laura gets interviewed and then walks away, and then they all clap in her honour and then starts to walk around and seeing all these pictures. Then a group of people talk away. Then Laura talks to people and starts to mingle, then walks away, and then starts to talk to a man and basically asks her some questions. Then another man interrupts her and walks away and tells Laura that Doris Spencer has been murdered and how she was murdered and is stunned, so they all take Laura away. Then Laura is back at home and is on the phone and talks to Elaine, then hangs up. Then Elaine and Michael make out. Then the next day Laura walks on set and sees her fur coats and picks one out for her client, then talks with the hairstylist and tells them what to do. So they do it to all of the models. Then Laura looks at all of the pictures and tells them where to start. So they do, and pictures begin. So Laura takes lots of pictures while other people are gathering around to see what Laura is doing. Then Laura sees something through the lens and stops and then walks away. Then someone asks if Laura is okay and tells them that she was dizzy. Nevertheless, she continues on taking pictures. Then Laura is in a cab and then gets out in a traffic jam and jogs along, and then stops and sees something through her eyes and runs as fast as she can, then stops and runs again and sees her premonition come to life, then goes to the apartment, then runs away again. Then at the police station, women or men are getting questions. A man asks where Laura is, but she is too busy getting questioned by the police, and asks if her statement is accurate, which she says it is, but the police find it hard to believe. Then Laura walks away and says it's legal. Then the police talk to a man about his knife. Then Laura talks more about her premonition, and the policeman wants to show Laura something which it's her book, and talks about her premonition in her nightmare. Then another man and the policeman talks a lot more. Then the police shows Laura unsolved classified pictures. Then Laura's pictures as they're close together, and Laura talks about images that come to her, and she feels that she's getting accused, which she doesn't buy into it. Then the police officer takes Laura to the scene of the crime. Then the phone goes off and the man is talking to someone. Then the policeman takes Laura upstairs and asks if Laura recognises any clothes, and that they are Michael's, which was her ex-husband. Then asks if she can go home and wishes the policeman good night. And the policeman gives Laura his card and then goes upstairs. Then Michael frightens Laura, and Laura asks Michael if he killed Elaine, but he denies it. Then Michael says he still loves Laura, but Laura is still convinced that Michael is the killer, and they start to argue, and she says, will $58 be enough?" and then goes away. Then back at the police station, all three police officers talk about Laura, in which two of them don't believe her. Then a man is in a car, gets out and gets Laura. Then Laura gets into the car and drives around. Then Laura's driver talks to Laura and says that he's been in jail for armed robbery and assaulting with a deadly weapon. Then Laura says she doesn't want to know and asks for the car to be pulled over. Then a man gets out and walks away. Then Laura and Tommy continue to drive on. Then Tommy and Laura get out and have a talk. Then Tommy gets back in the car and drives away. And Laura goes up the stairs and into her studio and opens the window, looks out and goes into her studio, back into the studio, and has another premonition, runs down the stairs and sees another man, and she is frightened. Then the police go and see Laura, and Laura is still scared, and they talk some more, and that he thinks that Laura doesn't trust him no more. Meanwhile, at the photo shoot, the ladies are all getting ready. Then Tommy brings flowers and is told not to disappear. Then Laura tells them what to do with their hair and makeup, then are ready to do the photo shoot. Then the photo shoot begins, and a man in a tuxedo comes out and pretends to be dead over the pool. Then more pictures are taken, but Laura walks away. Then Michael looks on, and Laura sees the premonition when she least expects it. Then talks to the police officer and says she's exaggerating, the whole thing, and asks the guy to lock her up. Then talks to the police officer some more and tries to explain what happened when she goes into her premonitions, and asks the police officer, "Why is the killer after me?" But she doesn't know what to do and thinks the killer was following her all afternoon. And then the policeman leaves. Then at the police station, the police questions one of the models and has a giggle. Then a policeman is on the stairs, then talks to another policeman and says she's still alone, working on developing her photos. Then gets another premonition and walks to another room and looks through some clothing and in fright then falls down and screams. Then Laura phones the girl up, but they're both already dead, and Laura cries. Then the police officer walks down the corridor of a funeral home as it's the funeral of the two women which Laura attends, and Laura turns and sees the police officer, and they then walk away out of the church and they try to interview Laura, and the man shouts out so everyone can hear, "Everyone is dead because of you, Laura." And then Laura is escorted away, and then the man is taken away. Then Laura drives away in her car, but Laura cries in the front seat and wants to be in the country with the police officer. And they talk some more. Then they kiss, and Laura is getting confused and is upset again. Then they kiss some more and make love. Then they lie close to each other, touching, holding, like close to each other. Then they kiss each other some more and hold each other again close. Then the police officer and Laura both get dressed, and the police officer gives Laura a gun and teaches her how to shoot the gun. And then Laura finds him and hugs him. Then a car pulls out with Laura and Tommy. Goes with her and comes to an apartment with a present because it's actually a birthday party. Then arrives at the party, takes Laura's coat and gets acquainted at the party, and he loves his present. Then Laura asks Tommy to come back in an hour, so he waits outside. Then another man blows out his candles, and then the phone goes, and it's for Laura, and it's Michael, and asks where he is. Then Laura hangs up on the phone, and she has to go to Michael, and he's threatened to kill himself, and she must go to him. So she leaves, and the police follow, but Laura actually gets into a car and drives off. Then the police find out it's Laura's friend in Laura's clothes. Then Laura gets another premonition, this time about her friend Donald, and they kill Donald, and Laura crashes the car, and Laura hugs the police officer after checking out of the hospital early. Then Laura checks the window and sits down and takes her medicine. Then the police officer talks to Laura and wants to take her away from here, but then starts to make out. But then the buzzer goes, and another police officer turns up and tells him that there's a break in the case, and they both leave Laura to be on her own. And he tells Laura to get the gun, and and then basically they go to the apartment and they search the apartment. They see all photographs and stuff like that. Then makes a phone call to the police officer, and basically they say it's Tommy, and it's Tommy who wants to see them. So the rest of the police leave except the lieutenant, who stays behind. Then Tommy goes to his apartment and goes up the stairs slowly, and goes to his apartment and has a talk to the policeman, and says that he was in the basement killing time, and sneaks out of the back door of the bar and says that he's innocent, but they found evidence. But a policeman overhears at the door, and the police tell him that we go over this together, and then a policeman tries to take him away, but Tommy makes a run for it, and the policeman runs after him, but the other policeman shoots down Tommy. Then Laura gets a call on the walkie-talkie and says that it's all over, because Tommy died. They killed Tommy. Laura is shocked and that the police officer is going to take Laura away, and she is relieved. Then the lieutenant goes to collect Laura, and Laura is packing her things, but the lieutenant sees Michael in the lift, and Laura has a premonition again, runs and locks the door and screams, "Go away, go away." Then the noise stops, then calls the police. Then the lieutenant comes in from the window and hugs her and tells her about Tommy and that he's dead. And the policeman talks some more and then tells her about Michael. And then Laura finds out that it's the police lieutenant that was the killer all along, but she still loves him. And he stabs the mirror, then turns around and goes towards Laura and says, "If you love me, then kill me." And he says he loves her, and she shoots him. Then the police are on the phone and she tells the operator that her name is Laura Mars, and the camera goes closer to her face and basically they see her tears. It's like at the beginning it zooms out, at the end it zooms in. So basically my thought on... I've got to remember the film now, which I do. Eyes of Laura Mars, and it was Faye Dunaway that played Laura Mars. So my thoughts on this film: absolutely blow me away. I thoroughly enjoyed this film from start to finish. What shall I say else about Laura Mars? I loved how it was portrayed by Faye Dunaway. I loved how it premonitions and she sees what the killer sees. I loved all that. I think it reminded me a bit like it was like a Hitchcock-esque film, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Raul Julia, he was amazing, and of course Faye Dunaway, she stole the show. But also who stole the show was a young Tommy Lee Jones, who was the lieutenant who ended up being the killer. I mean, he played his role to a T. He basically got close to Laura, seduces her, and then he tells her in the end that he's the one that was doing all the killings, and then she kills him. I know it's a bit of a spoiler, but as I said, sometimes in my reviews you have to give it a tiny bit of a spoiler so you can appreciate the film more. So yeah, rating on this film, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. There wasn't a moment in the film where I didn't like the film. I just was intrigued all the way through, and it also reminded me, it was like it had a bit of a Giallo-esque to this, which, as you all know, I love Giallo type films as well. So it had a bit of the Giallo-esque of, what was it? I think it had a bit of Fulci and a bit of Argento and a bit of Bava and Lenzi all together. And then you had the Hitchcock-esque to it, which created an amazing film. I know this film is not for everybody, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, gonna end this here. So stay gory, have unpleasant dreams, and I will see you soon. I'm nearly there, I'm catching up. Ta-ta for now, bye.